Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to OptionPit.com. This is Andrew Giovinazzi, the Chief Operating Officer of OptionPit.com. Welcome you to the Morning Vol Report. Again, gold content, higher realized vol yesterday. We looked at some ideas for higher realized volatility, which seems to be what we have. So let's just take a quick browse across the the VIXosphere. All right. Number one, we have the only thing I could think of is a very, very, very confused market as far as vol goes. Actually, I shouldn't even say confused. What I'll say is we have a very flat curve for volatility, but what this tells me in general is the market is being driven anyway by just politics, whatever, tweets, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't have a ton to do with the actual, let's say, companies performing, all this trade talk, tariffs, a lot of turnover. But I think the one constant, if you could call it a constant, is, over the last 2 months, and even over the last week, we have had these swirling bouts of uncertainty over kind of governmental policy and governmental direction. And what that does, it just leads to volatility, just the simplest way. So the more more cash VIX, which is just the vol in the S&P 500, stays above the futures, the market is really expecting what I would just call a lot of, it's a gamma trade. You want to have trades that are going to make money if you move somewhere. So you could direct butterflies. You could have long strangles in the vol products. We even looked yesterday at potentially some short-term TLT, short-term TLT gamma, owning strangles and stuff like that, because you have a lot of underlying volatility in the market. The second piece, I think, that has made things really complicated is just the fact that all of the Q stocks, Apple, Amazon, Google's up a little bit today, but for the most part, they've really gotten slammed around a bit. It could be some of the Senate's debating those new internet rules, new liability rules. That's a little part of it, but also the EU is trying to tax the big U.S. corporations. So there's a lot of, basically just a lot of currents for uncertainty. Okay, and they're not going down. For a while, it looked like we had less, right? They were going to pass tax reform. They're going to do all these things now. Like the trade policy is kind of nobody really knows exactly now. There's turnover at high levels in government, so they don't know how those people are going to. Everybody just settled in the last people. Now we got new people. So there is uncertainty. So, if you're going to look at the indexes, you want trades that are actually going to try to perform as you move out and away from somewhere. I think the volatility products themselves are going to remain volatile. VXX had a massive move yesterday because the VIX futures had a massive move yesterday. So, you opened 39 was the low of the day before. By the end of the day, you're trading 47. Almost a 20% move, right? That's tremendous, tremendous volatility. And the reality is we could be right back to those levels again. Again, the Fed talks seem to be, okay, but you've got gold rallying a little bit, again, which is strange with interest rates rising. So you've got a lot of that people kind of running for the protective assets. So again, I just think there's more movement overall. Will we start to see a bounce or run up in any of the FANG stuff? I don't know. Earnings are coming out though, so it's you kind of have this short-term volatility, which is gamma effect, and then you got the longer-term vol, or like the longer-term how we act going into earnings for big technology, right? So those are kind of, I think, the two things at play. I think these earnings, having good earnings, are going to loom large. So, any vol play that you short is very, I think using the vol product is going to be very short term. It would be hard to get a longer term one until you start seeing some things settle, with all of this, what we'll call it, economic chaos. So, in the chat room today, we'll look at some flies. We'll look at some different trades that make money if we start to move out, because there is some opportunity in the higher vol and the skew that is at least presented right now in the short term on a lot of these trades. So we'll take a look at all that stuff in our chat room today. If you want to try our gold products or anything like that, send me a note, Andrew at optionpit.com, or Alicia at optionpit.com, LICIA at optionpit.com. And we will be happy to set you up to learn how to position and trade for volatility, because it doesn't look like we have a shortage of that right now. All right, everybody, have a good day, and I will see you all later.